James Carlyle, a self-made billionaire CEO in Manhattan, was known for his sharp business acumen and meticulous lifestyle. Despite his influence and wealth, he often felt an emptiness that no boardroom or luxury could fill. One bitterly cold December morning, as he walked past a small cafe near his office, he noticed a young woman struggling to manage two energetic toddlers. Their laughter contrasted with the harsh wind. But the woman, Claire Bennett, shivered in a thin, worn jacket that looked decades too old for her. Something about her caught his attention. Not just her determination, but a quiet resilience. He paused to watch as she carefully helped one of the twins up after a tumble on the icy sidewalk. Without thinking, he approached. "Excuse me," he said, his tone firm but gentle. "It looks like you could use some help." Claire hesitated, wary of strangers, but there was an unspoken sincerity in his demeanor. I'm just trying to get to the shelter across town," she admitted. "The kids, it's been a rough few days." James offered her a ride. During the drive, his eyes fell on the emblem on her jacket, a faded insignia he instantly recognized. It was from a high-profile humanitarian mission in Syria years ago, a mission that had ended in tragedy with no survivors. Yet here she was, wearing the jacket, alive and with two young children. Claire's story unfolded slowly. She had been a field medic on that mission, and miraculously survived an ambush that had claimed her husband's life. Now, years later, she was trying to rebuild her life in New York, far from the memories of war. James listened intently, struck by her courage and resilience. By the time they reached her temporary apartment, he had made a decision. "Claire," he said, "I run a foundation that helps families like yours. Let me help. You and your twins deserve stability." Claire stared at him, a mix of pride, exhaustion, and gratitude crossing her face. After a long pause, she nodded. This was an opportunity. She hadn't dared to imagine a chance, not just for survival, but for a new beginning. For the first time in years, hope began to take root in her heart, quietly promising a future that felt both safe and possible. The following weeks were a whirlwind of adjustments and new beginnings. James arranged a comfortable apartment in Manhattan for Claire and her twins, enrolling the children in a nearby school and connecting Claire with resources to help her rebuild her life. For the first time in years, she felt a sense of security that had been absent since the mission. The city's chaos no longer seemed threatening. It felt like a place where she could finally breathe. James maintained a professional distance, but his presence became a constant. He visited regularly, checking in on her and the children, offering guidance, and quietly observing the small but significant victories. The twins learning to ice skate in the park, Claire preparing a meal without rushing, a smile lingering longer than it had in years. Slowly, trust turned into mutual respect. They began sharing conversations about life, loss, and the unexpected paths that led them here. One evening, snow fell gently over the city, blanketing the streets in white. Claire prepared dinner for the twins while James visited, as he often did. His gaze drifted to the jacket hanging by the door, the one from the mission. He asked softly, "Do you ever think about going back?" Claire shook her head, a trace of sadness in her eyes. "Some memories are better left in the past," she said. "But the lessons, I carry them with me." James nodded, understanding more than she realized. He admired her resilience, the quiet determination that had carried her through unimaginable loss, and the tenderness she poured into her children. For the first time, he felt compelled to protect someone, not out of obligation or business, but out of genuine care. Over time, their lives became intertwined in ways neither had anticipated. The twins flourished under their combined attention. Claire's confidence grew as she pursued her career in healthcare, contributing her expertise to charitable programs James supported. Slowly, the barriers they had built around their hearts began to erode. Shared laughter, quiet dinners, and small acts of kindness created a rhythm that felt natural and comforting. In the end, it wasn't wealth or status that defined their days, but the courage to open themselves to connection and trust. Together, they transformed trauma into hope, survival into possibility, and uncertainty into a shared future. In the warmth of a Manhattan apartment on a snowy night, Claire realized that life, no matter how harsh the past, could offer a chance to belong, to love, and to begin anew. James, too, discovered that the greatest investment he could make was not in stocks or ventures, but in a family forged by resilience, care, and the quiet power of second chances.